Have you ever wondered how African nations rose against their colonial masters and won their freedom? Our journey begins in the heart of North Africa, with the stories of Algeria and Egypt, two nations that blazed the trail of resistance. In Algeria, the spark of rebellion ignited a flame of guerrilla warfare and urban uprisings. Men and women, young and old, took to the streets and the countryside, their hearts filled with a burning desire for freedom. Across the border in Egypt, the winds of change were also stirring. Strategic alliances and shrewd political maneuvering marked their path to the end of British occupation. These were the initial flickers of what would become a continent-wide inferno, a collective yearning for liberation that would sweep across Africa. Algeria and Egypt set the stage for a continent-wide struggle for liberation. This was the dawn of resistance, the beginning of Africa's long march towards freedom. Moving westwards, we find ourselves in Ghana, the beacon of hope, and Kenya, the power of grassroots movements. In Ghana, a visionary leader, Kwame Nkrumah, emerged. Nkrumah, a man of extraordinary foresight and determination, led Ghana to independence through peaceful means, igniting a spark of hope across the African continent. His strategy of non-violent resistance, combined with diplomacy and negotiation, proved to be a potent force against the shackles of colonial rule. Now let's shift our gaze to Kenya. Here, the Mau Mau rebellion demonstrated the immense power of grassroots movements. Ordinary Kenyans, driven by a burning desire for freedom, took up arms against the mighty British Empire. Their courage, tenacity and strategic use of guerrilla warfare were instrumental in weakening the British hold, ultimately leading to Kenya's independence. Ghana and Kenya laid the foundation for a continent-wide push for independence. Their stories serve as a testament to the power of visionary leadership and grassroots activism in the fight for liberation. In the South, the struggle against apartheid in South Africa and the fight for independence in Zimbabwe echoed across the continent. South Africa, a land marred by racial segregation, bore witness to the exceptional leadership of Nelson Mandela. His unwavering commitment to justice and equality, coupled with the armed resistance of Umkhonto we Sizwe, the military wing of the African National Congress, set the stage for a relentless struggle against apartheid. Parallelly, in Zimbabwe, the liberation war was in full swing. Spearheaded by Robert Mugabe and Joshua Nkrumah, the war was a bold challenge to the entrenched colonial regime of Rhodesia. Through a blend of guerrilla warfare and diplomatic pressure, Zimbabweans orchestrated their march towards freedom, heralding a new era of self-determination. South Africa and Zimbabwe's struggles signified the resilience of Africans against racial oppression and injustice. Their stories remain a testament to the indomitable spirit of a continent that refused to bow down to tyranny, forever marking the pages of history. In East Africa, Ethiopia's triumph over Italian aggression inspired other nations, while in the West, Angola's liberation movement ended Portuguese rule. Ethiopia's resistance against Italian occupation culminated in the historic Battle of Adwa. A unified Ethiopian force, under the leadership of Emperor Menelik II, successfully repelled an Italian invasion, marking one of the first major victories of an African nation against a colonial power. This triumph became a beacon of hope for other African nations under colonial rule. On the other side of the continent, Angola was waging its own war for liberation. The MPLA, or the Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola, led a fierce armed struggle against Portuguese colonialism. Despite facing numerous challenges, the MPLA's determined resistance eventually brought an end to 5 centuries of Portuguese rule. Ethiopia and Angola's victories symbolized the triumph of resistance over colonial encroachment. In the heart of Africa, Mozambique's Frelimo guerrillas and Nigeria's diplomatic negotiations and grassroots activism ushered in a new era of self-determination. Mozambique's fight for independence was a protracted struggle against Portuguese colonial forces. The guerrillas of Frelimo, the Mozambique Liberation Front, fought hard and long, ultimately securing independence and laying the foundation for a new nation. Meanwhile, Nigeria, a nation of diverse tribes and vibrant civil society, carved its own path to freedom. Through a combination of diplomatic negotiations and grassroots activism, Nigeria emerged from colonial rule, demonstrating that liberation can be achieved through peaceful means. These two nations, each with its unique journey, symbolize the broader struggle for self-determination that swept across the African continent. Mozambique and Nigeria's struggles for independence marked the birth of modern Africa. Their stories are a testament to the courage, resilience, and unwavering determination of the African people, who dared to challenge the colonial powers and reclaim their destiny.